But let's set those aside for now and hone in on Elon Musk's revelations. In contrast to versions intended for orbital or Mars missions, lunar landing missions will require different designs to suit the lunar environment. Adding legs to Starship is quite understandable, as Elon Musk mentioned there won't be a Mechazilla to catch Starship on the moon initially. Perhaps this system will be developed later when they establish a base on the moon, but it's certainly not feasible for the first missions. With a legged design, Starship will be able to stand firmly on the moon's surface, allowing the crew to descend from the crew compartment using an elevator system. In Starship HLS's designs, regardless of other changes, the legs are always retained. The variation lies in whether they are completely fixed or foldable. Next, the heat shields will be removed. This is because the moon lacks an atmosphere, meaning there is no need to withstand the intense heat experienced during re-entry on Earth. Musk has also reiterated that Starship HLS will be expendable, eliminating the necessity for a heat shield for its return to Earth, unlike the original prototypes. Estimates indicate that the entire heat shield's mass will be around 10% of Starship's dry mass, approximately 10 tons. By eliminating this mass, SpaceX can optimize the craft for other essential payloads or for accommodating the landing legs, as I previously mentioned. Furthermore, since there's no re-entry to Earth, complex flip maneuvers and flaps on the ship won't be necessary. Removing the flaps will help reduce weight and create space for SpaceX to install the landing legs. That's the design for the moon. So what about Mars? I believe the aforementioned upgrades can also be applied to missions on Mars. In the initial missions, Starship won't have a landing system and won't be able to return. Mars does have an atmosphere, albeit extremely thin, only 1% of Earth's. Therefore, adapting the design used for Starship HLS would be feasible for Martian missions. However, I anticipate that SpaceX will still retain heat shields on Starship to ensure safe re-entry. Additionally, SpaceX intends to reuse and return to Earth in the Mars missions instead of adopting a completely expendable approach like the Starship HLS, marking the use of a heat shield necessary. Irrespective of any modifications, the methane and oxygen fuel on Starship will remain, optimizing the ability to produce fuel using available resources on Mars. This approach will not only save costs, but also lay the groundwork for further exploration into space in the future. Besides the designs that Elon Musk revealed, we can also imagine many other applications for Starship on Mars. For instance, during its initial landing, Starship could transform into a Mars base for astronauts to inhabit instead of constructing a traditional base. Alternatively, Starships could be designed to incorporate a gravity system called spin, as mentioned by Elon Musk in a tweet. Starship will have a small spin on the way to Mars. Even a tiny gravity vector is better than none. According to this concept, two starships would be joined together and rotated to generate centrifugal force, creating artificial gravity. This approach could help mitigate the effects of prolonged exposure to zero gravity on the human body, such as during the 6-month journey to Mars. Although there have been no further developments on this idea from SpaceX and Elon Musk, as the journey to Mars draws nearer, they may need to consider implementing such a system. To implement this system, Starship would need to be larger to generate a strong enough centrifugal force. This is because a larger angular velocity radius would not require as fast spinning as a smaller one to achieve the same gravitational pull as on Earth. Starship, being the largest rocket in the world, is best suited for this purpose. SpaceX is even planning larger versions like version 2 and 3, which I will discuss right now. So in addition to the special design changes, numerous other enhancements will significantly impact the Mars mission, with the most notable being the escalation in production and launch frequency, alongside the introduction of new versions. But why does this surge in production and launch frequency matter for Mars missions? Let's hear Elon Musk's perspective once more.
Eventually we will want to bring ships back, and I think we want to give people the option of coming back because they're more likely to want to go if there's some option of coming back. But I think most of the people that go to Mars will probably never come back to Earth. So, and we'll need to ramp production to pretty high numbers. Like, I think ultimately probably a ship every, multiple ships per day.
Alongside the ramp up in numbers, the size of the Starship will undergo a boost as well. During the presentation, Elon Musk outlined the specifications for versions 2 and 3. In particular, compared to the 121.3 meters of version 1, Starship 2 will soar to a height of 124.4 meters, and this will further expand to 150 meters in the third iteration. This expansion will not only create more room for passengers, payload, and fuel, but also facilitate the integration of numerous features, such as the Starship spin system. Naturally, this design evolution will synergize closely with the substantial increase in the production of starships. Now, when it comes to the scale of production and launches, as Elon Musk emphasized, upon reaching Mars, inhabitants will have various choices. Some may opt to remain, while others may wish to return to Earth. Consequently, there will be a necessity for an increased deployment